Hi everyone, this is Accounting Nightmare. Welcome to the stream. Welcome Tag, welcome Panicking, welcome Counting. Good to see yous. Alright, we're starting pretty late today because I foolishly put the dishwasher on earlier and I thought it would be done by stream time and it wasn't. And that thing, it was just like over there, so pretty loud. Alright, it's finished though, and now we can play some Ace Attorney Investigations. Take that! Take that! No. The cat is begging for food. It's 1.5 hours till her dinner time. Guess you'll starve? Poor thing. Okay, so I think I'm just going to focus on this game today, because I want to, you just wanted to say, kept you waiting, huh? Kept you waiting, huh? That's my best snake voice. Sorry, it's bad. Yeah, I want to focus on Ace Attorney Investigations today. I feel like we're not making very quick progress. I feel like this might take like weeks upon weeks to finish, so I think I'll just play as much of this as we can today. Alright, we're up to middle part 2. Exciting. I wish they kind of just gave it a part number instead of doing, oh, there's beginning part 1, beginning part 2, middle part 1. Just give it a number, like part 3, part 4, whatever. Yeah, we saw Emma yesterday. Not sure if she shows up again, but you know, we'll find out. Okay, and top right. What did we find out yesterday? We didn't get to play much of this yesterday because the segment yesterday was pretty short. We have established that the victim was in a costume. We figured out that the killer was likely in a costume as well. So it's probably a killing between the 2 kidnappers. So it seems like there are 2 kidnappers. One of them shot the other. And it happened in the stadium. And one of them was standing, the killer was standing on the stage in the stadium. That's pretty much what we found out. Okay. March 13, 2:34 PM, Wild Wild West area. Case 3 is weird, it's kind of multiple mini events that is kind of vaguely connected. Okay, so now's when we see the Easter egg. Cool, thanks Counting. Yeah, we just got kicked out of the stadium, so... Looks like we got the boot again. With Lance safe, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. Oh, that's right, Lance showed up too. The kidnapping victim. He just kind of showed up. We're not sure... yeah. It sounds like he was being held near where Edgeworth was, which is kind of hilarious. We were being held in that building, but we didn't think to go in and... I guess Lang didn't let him, but yeah. Oh. Lance is safe. You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes. And also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Miles, my boy! This music sounds kind of Mario-ish, actually, doesn't it? Tell me it's true. Tell me that you've really found my boy. Yes, Mr. Romano. We found him earlier in the stadium. Then my little Lance is unhurt? He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang. Poor Lance. It must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a... Are you the kidnapper? Talk to Kay. Yes? What is it, Kay? You look like you've stumbled upon something. I'm kind of confused by all the different events going on. First, there's the kidnapping, and then the co-conspirators of that end up in a murder. And Miss Oldbag saw the crucial moment, but you and Miss Oldbag are kinda... We do not need to investigate further into that last statement. Disregarding the fact of who it came from, the witness's testimony was a mess. However, it did shed some light on the truth behind this case. Well, let's keep investigating and see what other types of people we run into, shall we? Okay. No worries, Counting. We'll see if we can if we can go to that area. Have we asked her about this? Okay, she doesn't have anything to say. You just watched a small part of Case 3's VOD. It has a cool hint of AA4 in it. Okay. Hi, anything new to say? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Good work, officer. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. I thought you wanted to talk with Mr. Amano and Miss Pouts. I do. Perhaps I should start with them before I do anything else. Or we'll try talking to everyone. Okay, we still can't get through there. Yeah. Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. It was nothing. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver. But I have to say I'm relieved that Lance is alright. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. A letter? Oh, the way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe he received yet another love letter, you know. Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? Reads it anyway. It's a very simple love letter. Tender Lender Loan Company. Isn't that the one from AA3? The one that Furio Tiger was from? My dear Lance Amano, may I come see you again? Your beloved... Is that Viola? Oh, hey, let me see. That's really weird. It's from a loan company, Tender Lender. Looks more like a collection bill to me. Interesting. Yeah. Hey, the Shifu? It is them? Interesting. I wonder if she's going to show up again. She was a fun character. Yeah, we'll check it out in the evidence. Letter for Lance Amano. The sender is a Tender Lender Loan Company. Yeah, it is Viola. God, this music's good. This game's got really good music. That's one of my secret passions. Well, I guess it's not so secret. Game music. Video game music. It's right now? Alright, cool. Let's go. Aha. Nice. That's a good Easter egg. They say that couples who cross this bridge together will find happiness. Or so the Gatewater Land pamphlet says. But you'd think that they'd already be happy because they were able to come together. Logistics aside, I wonder who came up with this tale and when. This bridge doesn't look old enough to be the stuff of legends. Well, some things are better left uninvestigated, don't you think? Ignorance is bliss. Alright, that wasn't about them, really. Oh yeah. Even Pearl's there. Aww. Yeah, I understand that tag. When you've got just a blank page in front of you, it's pretty intimidating to get started writing. Yeah, that's cool. Can we like call out to them? Hey, Phoenix! No? Okay. That's not really something Edgeworth would do anyway. Bye. Have fun. That's a cool Easter egg. Very nice. Thanks, Counting. I'll talk to her now. He loves me not. He loves me not. Oh, that's the 12th one. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. I suppose. If they were me, then... I believe you said that you were Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but... Oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either? I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. Ah, it's so wonderful. You mean to tell me that he gave you a lollipop ring? So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know? My father used to work for Mr. Romano, and so Lance and I grew up together. I said it out loud. I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amano group. What did he do? I heard his job was to fly around the world on Pegasus. Pegasus? Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company. You had me there for a second. But now, it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned. Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown. Sounds like the stuff legends are made of. It's been so long, I don't think I'd recognise him if we were to ever meet again. I'm so sorry, Lauren. But I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live. Lauren, please. Edgeworth would totally scream objection at Nick, then walk off while Nick gets a panic attack. Trying to think of evidence for a case while he's off duty. Very good. About this incident. Incident? But isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here the whole time, so I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident. How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped? Oh, that's because of my woman's intuition. You based everything on that? I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. It really must be destiny. She started fantasizing again. She's hiding something. So what are you going to do now, Mr. Edgeworth? We've already established that there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two. Oh. Get to pick, hey? Let's save. Westermark effect. Wester. Yeah, I haven't actually heard of that either. Kids that grew up together from a young age rarely fall in love. Because developmentally speaking, the brain attaches to them a label that basically treats them as siblings. Oh, I hadn't actually heard of that. That's interesting. Okay, so the isolation room is where we were. The crime scene, well, we were kicked out of there. I think the hideout's the right one. Let's try the other options first, though. The place where we were held as prisoners. Hold it! Don't lump me in with you. I can't allow you to slander my good name as a great thief by saying I was captured. Not being able to escape from somewhere qualifies you as a caged bird, Kay. Besides, we checked that place out pretty well while we were there, remember? Don't you think it'd be an even better idea to check somewhere else? Perhaps you were right. What I really need right now are leads to the killer's identity. I believe there is one location. Crime scene! It's often the case that some clues are overlooked at the crime scene itself, which means we should give the stadium another sweep. That's pretty good. Very professional prosecutor-like of you. And of course, we'd go investigate if we hadn't just been tossed from there. True. And Agent Lang is still conducting his investigation there. Yeah, now get it together, will you, Mr. Edgeworth? Alright then. To do our part, we should leave them alone and investigate somewhere else. The hideout. It's named for the sociologist who noticed the pattern. Ah, that's pretty cool. The obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout. But we're still not allowed in, remember? Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there is no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. I still want to pat the cat. Why am I not allowed to pat the cat? Can I please pet the cat? By the way, did I show you my badge? Check out my badge. Do you know what this is? It's a prosecutor's badge. Badge. I'm not a bad person, and I'm not out to seduce you. Come now, won't you talk? No! You're showing that to me to lord over me with how much authority you have. Well, I will not be bullied. You should be ashamed of yourself, you evil man. How should I repent in order for this woman to talk to me? This right here is Lance's and my castle of love. It's the perfect new house for us, made out of candles and sweets. What? But I can't seem to get the door open. Why? Because this is a theme park, and I highly doubt they would let you live here for real. You won't let me in my own house? You truly are a terrible man, you know that? Well, but I have nothing to do with that. Okay, she's a interesting person. Ah, it's a monster! A hideous monster! I know that it may look like a monster. However, I'd like to ask you about it. Oh, Lance up in heaven, lend your little lolly your strength. But he's not dead. If you lend me your strength, I can defeat the bad monster and live a long and happy life. I'm beginning to suspect that you are not very good at this listening business. Lance and I met on a street corner by the crosswalk. I was so busy eating a loaf of bread that I ran right into him. It was destiny, as people like to say. I'll take that as she's not interested in this. Lauren's actually the best? Ah. Nothing to say about that. About the costumes. Nope, okay. Just gonna show her everything, because that's what we do. A plaque will be found when we examine the victim. Ah! Look. You big bully! I can't believe you'd show me something so gruesome! But... I have to admit I kind of like that mavericky aura around him. Oh, Lauren, are you becoming bad as well? She's off in La La Land again, I see. If I show this to her, she'll probably just go on about another one of her fantasies. If you're not going to show it to her, then why not give it to me for safekeeping? Why would I do anything of the sort? Okay, it won't let us show her this. That's interesting. I'm suspicious. Nothing to say about the blue Badgermobile. What about the love letter? The so-called love letter. I don't think it's actually a love letter. At this point, can we conclude she's not very good at this attached to reality business? Yes. Alright, can I show you the letter to get more info? Let's find out. Oh, that looks to be something with quite a bit of value. But then all things have some value attached to them. Only by probing deep into the unknown can we become true winners in this world, Miles. Thanks, but knowledge isn't what's going to make me a winner here. It's information. Yeah. Alright, what else can we look at before we actually move on? So this must be the blue Badgermobile that Officer Meekins was driving. He said it was stolen, didn't he? Don't tell me that you were the one who stole it. What the heck are you talking about? I don't even have a license. It's illegal to drive a car without a license. A great thief doesn't break the law. This little girl has a very odd understanding of the word law. Can't look at that. Blurb about the cactus. I think we've seen this. Yeah, gift from the police precinct. Can't skip the dialogue, even though I've read it. How rude. Go check this place again. I didn't look around here. Why is there a blue badger here too? Are you deathly allergic to him or something? It's not that. It's more the half smile on his face. It's really unsettling. She's disturbed by the half smile. I'm more disturbed by its movements and how it managed to obstruct an investigation. Yeah, talk to me. This man looks suspiciously like the precinct. Look at that lovely smile on the blue badger's face. Ah, it's the chief, the inventor of the badger. Well, created. Yeah, he created the badger, and then Gumshoe actually made the dancing cutout thing. Ah, it's looking at me. Make it stop. It's scary. It's alright, dear. You want to know something? I was the one who created the blue badger. See, look at his eyes. Don't they look just like Daddy's? It's scary. It's scary because they do look like yours, Daddy. Well, that was rather depressing. I think I'd better leave the two of them alone. Very good. To think they were but a hotel. Now they have their own safari park attraction. Talk about a veritable goulash of rides and attractions. Goulash. Goulash? Haven't heard that word before. Rip Chief, yeah. He did mention before that his kid was scared of the badger, didn't he? In one of the earlier games. With so many of them, you'd think that they would have a ninja house. Like one of those buildings with a zillion secret places to hide in. Those are fun. Well, they don't. Hey, how can you be so sure? Oh, I know. I bet they really do have one, but it's hidden in real ninja fashion. Come on out, ninja house. I know you're around here somewhere. A hidden ninja house. Next you'll be looking for a lost pirate ship. That's gotta be a reference to something. Don't know what though. That lamp looks like it's got a lot of good stories to tell about the olden days. Oh, it looks incredibly new to me. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth, you need to lighten up and get a sense of humour. That was rather rude, but just this once I'll look the other way. On second thought, maybe the first thing you need to work on is tact. There you go, Nick. Yeah, it's weird actually, isn't it? Because Maya is really good at thievery. She keeps stealing stuff. Goulash is an Eastern European dish. It's basically a stew. Ah, okay, thanks. Thanks, counting. Can I pat the cat? I want to pat the cat so much. Oh. Not letting me pat the cat. 0 out of 10. Alright, is it in here? What do you have to report? Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir. Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir, roger, sir. That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in? Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me personally to let you in, sir. And I couldn't refuse a request from him. Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following. Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What is this? The man in this picture. Isn't this Mr. Oliver Deacon? But the name here says Colin Devore. That's the same name as the one on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin Devore was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison. What? Then what was he doing here? Apparently, he broke out of jail, and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Interesting. Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. It's fine. Let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout. Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later. More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer. It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then the door's been wide open, sir. I'm not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Care to explain in a bit more detail? Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went to check out the room. So they got about 10 officers to help out and break the door down, sir. I see. I guess that means I get Ancient Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find. Hey, King Brolly. Yeah, that sounds good, Tag. Which anime series were you thinking of doing? 2:55 PM, Kidnapper's Hideout. So, this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed. Well, you were tied up for a while in the room next door. Okay, please, must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. Investigation! Let's look at these documents. Before we forget. Colin Devore dossier. Details Oliver Deacon's real name and history. Colin Devore, sex male, height 5'8", weight 123, dominant hand right. Whereabouts unknown after his escape from Penny Dent prison. Penny Dent. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. Wife and sole daughter. Okay. Alright, let's have a look-see around. This must be where they dispose of old and worn-out costumes. That's so sad. It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. Trash bin for old and useless costumes. Okay. Does Kay got anything to say? Always. So this is the room next to the one we were held prisoners in. You know, I took a peek in here through the door from the other room. As did I, Kay. Anyway, if this room was truly the kidnapper's hideout, then that means there should be some clues to their identities here, right? I don't know if there are, however, the probability is quite high. I believe a thorough combing of this room is necessary. What's this? What have we here? Looks like a sword. A broken sword. Strange. Why would it be broken like that? Swords don't usually break on their own. That's true. Alright then, let's think about it in this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. This door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. Won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny! The panel that hid the entrance to the underground is propped up and wide open. Be careful of where you step, Kay. I only fell into that other opening once, you know. Yeah. Trigun, Inuyasha, and Fruits Basket. Okay. That would be fun. That sounds good, Tag. Looks like a sword. A broken sword. Same dialogue. Yep. We looked at the sword. There we go. Barrels. Ooh, they have barrels like these just outside. Yes, and? Well, I know I already asked you when we were out there, but if these were real, what would you put in them? There's an expectant gleam in her eyes that I'm about to dash. That doorknob handle thingy is looking pretty beat up. I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Hey, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. Look, not a single dent. But how is that possible after what that officer told us? Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, then the lock itself should be completely wrecked. So, the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged. How can that be? Was the sword somehow used to keep the door shut, maybe? What else we got? Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in their folded state. Wow, whoever lined these up did it perfectly. They're not even a single hair off. I'd feel bad using these because it'd be like stealing the perfection away. I suspect it's more like you wouldn't want to be the one to put them away. Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth! It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? Ah yeah, Cowboy Bebop's fun, isn't it? You have a fun historical anecdote about broken swords. Ooh, go for it, counting. Oops. Cheap styrofoam cups. Looks like only 3 cups were used. 3. Interesting. I wonder what this key is to. You got me. It reminds me of the key we found in the other room. That's it! This must be the key for one of those trapdoors. That wasn't a trapdoor. You only call it one because you quite literally jumped into it. Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one? I'm not having this conversation with you. Folding chairs, and by the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers. There are 3 chairs set around the table. I wonder, was he in on it? Was it a staged kidnapping to get ransom money? And something went wrong. A poster of Gatewater Land is stuck on this wall. Intrigue, fun, prestige. Gatewater Land has it all, and it's waiting for you. It's not especially catchy, is it? Not really. Alright. What else can we do? Can we go down here? Hey, it's a trapdoor in this room too. It's not a trapdoor, it's an entrance to an underground passage key. I know that. The door leading to the outside world was locked, so Lance must have escaped his prison through here. Okay, so we didn't see him when he looked through the door, yeah, looked through here, so he must have already escaped. Beyond this door is where the kidnappers held you after getting the jump on you. Must you keep reminding me? But it's the room where I got to see your awesome face. You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. Anyway, let's use some logic. Check our logic bin. 3 cups and 3 folding chairs seems to go together. Suggests that there are 3 people. We don't have much health left actually, let's save before we play around in the logic bin. During the Third Crusade, Richard the Lionheart was travelling through Cyprus, where he confiscated a falcon from a peasant. This angered the locals who formed a mob. Trying to get away, Richard whacked one of the Cypriots with the flail of his sword, and the sword snapped. A royal sword broke in half when its flat was used to whack someone on the back. That's wild. Huh. Jeez. That's interesting. Hello, sweetie. Cat's here looking for food. And giddy. But it's not your dinner time yet, sweetie. Sorry. You get pets, though, if you're not careful. Oh, cute. Pets for you. Alright, back to video game. Yeah, you can keep begging for food if you want, sweetie. But, what time is it anyway? Oh, there's still an hour to go. What will you do? Poor thing. Do you still have to wait an hour? Maybe it's only a fun story if you're a total nerd, but you know. That is interesting, right? Like, what would cause it to break like that? Here we go. Logic button. 3 cups. There were 3 cups. The common denominator between the cups and folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3. Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers. Indeed, something isn't adding up. Literally. Is it possible there is a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see? Costume pieces, broken... Alright, so I'm gonna suggest that the door was propping open, was being held shut by the sword somehow. It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock, and anyone can see that it was not in use at the time. But the police went outside so that it took 10 men to get it open. A door that was locked tight, despite it not being locked at all. It can only be because of this. Oh, you mean... Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. Do you see how the handle was completely destroyed? So, that's how the sword broke. Broken prop sword. Yo! I thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers, but instead we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. Ah! Ah! What is it? Well, well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct? But what are you doing, suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that? This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. Who's this going to be? Human, feed me. Oh my god. Yep, she's being cute. She's being cute. And boop. Cute. Sorry, sweetie. You can be as cute as you want, but you have to wait till 6 o'clock. Sorry, I don't make the rules. I mean, I did actually, but yeah. Swords aren't really made to hit with the flat. Not only that steel quality back then was a lot worse than it is nowadays, so it's not unheard of for swords to break in such a manner. Ah, okay. Interesting. We badgers also make use of it in our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first, and then we'll talk, okay? Ah, I beg your pardon, miss. Who's it gonna be? Proto Badger, get! Alright, only one more to go. What are you getting all excited about? Did you forget? The photo rally, duh! See, look! Now all I have to do is get a picture of the bad badger and I'm done. Ah, yes, I vaguely recall a contest or something of that sort. But what? It's gone! But where did it go? What happened? What's wrong? A bad badger costume is missing, sir. Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnappers stole it. I heard about how they were stolen. But they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken. What? Is he saying that more than 3 of them are gone? Mr. Proto Badger, please tell me a little more about these costumes you use. Mr. Proto Badger. Cat's gone now. Probably bugging Steve for food instead. Yeah, Steve's home, he's just in the other room. Okay, are you participating in that Blue Badger photo rally? Yeah, I figured since I came all this way I might as well. Plus, I want the prize. The prize? It's a handcuff-shaped notepad. Wait, or is it a notepad-shaped set of handcuffs? Either way, they both sound incredibly useless. Hey, you don't know that. And I'm sure I can figure out what to use it for. Whichever it is. A notepad might be useful, but I don't see when she will ever need a set of handcuffs. Alright, creepy friggin' badger. Alright. What did you mean by a bad badger costume is missing? Why, just what I said, sir. We are 1 bad badger short. Counting the spares, we have 2 of each costume on hand at all time. Okay, so because one of them is walking around in the park, the other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the bad badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It's the stage show where the bad badger wreaks havoc around the park. And the other badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. Then doesn't that make it near impossible to take a picture of the bad badger? There you go, Kay, you figured it out. You found the catch with these silly contests. There's always that one piece that they limit. This human is defective. Time to bother the other one. Yes. What if the blue badger is wearing the proto badger costume? Interesting. Personally, I can't believe that it's this close to showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir? All this basically means is that the kidnappers stole 4 costumes in total. Then, are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers? No, I don't think that's very likely. Oh? Recall the costumes for a minute. The stolen ones, you mean? Uh-oh. What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist? I think it's that there's no missing pink badger one. But maybe it's something random. Take that! Looking here, you can plainly see that a 4th kidnap is out of the question. Look where? Do you know what he's trying to say, Mr. Proto Badger? No. I'm very sorry, sir. However, I must have missed something myself. It's alright. I zigged when a zag was more appropriate. It's as simple as it appears. All I have to do is think a little to find the answer. It's meant to be their bellboy. Oh, okay. The bellboy. Wow, that's a blast from the past. I don't even remember how I voiced him. If you had 4 people and you had wanted to steal a 4th costume, wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a pink badger costume instead? Yeah, that makes sense. And yet, the kidnappers decided to steal another bad badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 bad badger costumes. But the question is, why? I'm gonna save, since we're very low on health. Wasn't there the head of one of those costumes next to us when we were captured? Is that gone now? Yeah, there was a bad badger head. Weird. Excuse me. Beyond this door... Talk to the badger. I was wondering, if you don't mind, Mr. Proto-Badger, how did you know my name? You're pretty famous, sir. I would think that most people would know who you are. Famous? Me? Absolutely, sir. You're always very active in the community, I hear. Wow, I didn't know you were such a celebrity, Mr. Edgeworth. I feel like I've met this person before. Maybe it's just my imagination. What we got in our logic bin? Hello, cat. We're back again. I think we can try and put these two together. See what happens. The second Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. What do you mean? That costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say that it's wearing some very telltale pants? Hey, you're right. Let's get it out of there and take a look. That particular puzzle stumped you for the longest time. Ah, okay. Yeah, just all of us have just a puzzle that's really obvious to everyone else and that we just get stuck on. It feels bad. As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume. Well, minus the head. Hey cat, you alright? There are 3 folding chairs over on this side. I can't say they were arranged nearly as nicely as their siblings to the right. You think so? I think they're just fine, like a bunch of used chairs ought to be. Oh, I'm beginning to think you must keep a most chaotic room. Hey, don't slander and sigh at me all in one shot. Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in their folded state. The ones over by the table probably came from this stack. I wonder why this Bad Badger costume's right hand is torn up like that. Maybe it's a flesh wound from a fight with the Blue Badger. I always knew the Blue Badger was one ferocious beast. I somehow doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as that, Kay. Well, I suppose we need to deduce something. Gonna guess that we'll point out the head. Let's save. Save my game. The snowmobile tracks in the last case of AA3. You just did not know what evidence to present. Ah. Why a badger? Good question. Why a badger? Alright, so I'll try deducing with the head. I'm assuming that those go together. Eureka! This is a clear contradiction of the facts. I'm glad I saved. Huh? What are you talking about? Are you going to fill me in or not? Wait, maybe it's not quite so clear. Even so, it's still a contradiction, right? Or it might not be. You're acting really weird, Mr. Edgeworth. Just tell me if it's a contradiction or not. My apologies. There's definitely something off about this costume. If only I could envision the truth in my head, I'd be one step closer to it. The truth in your head. Wait. We don't have any logic points left, though. Hang on. Reset. Get my health back. Yeah, what else we got? broken prop sword. So is this the victim's costume, maybe? It's not covered in blood, though. It should be covered in blood if it's the victim's costume. Yeah, I don't think it's related to the victim. Supposed to have a gun, and that's the hand where the gun's held. Is that what we're going for, maybe? I like the weird little facial hair that the bad badger has. It's pretty good. Alright, well I'll try the... I guess I should probably point it at the hand. I don't know if it's going to be that sensitive about it. That picky. I'll go for the Badger Bible. This is the one with the picture, isn't it? Yeah. See if that gets us anywhere. There we go. Aha. I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. Between what? Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something in its right hand that it should be. Oh, the gun. Precisely. The Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However... You there. Did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand? No, I did not, sir. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume. As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show. Yeah, autocorrect is a jerk sometimes. Your kiddies think they're going to starve. Their food is in the plastic balls they're supposed to bat around. Some are confused, others are snobs and don't want to eat the biscuits off the floor. Oh, bloody cats. Cats are ridiculous. It seems that our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costumed friend. Did they stage the murder? For a witness? I think we're about done with this room. So, what's next? Well, we found a few answers, but there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay. See you, Badger. 3:34 PM. Wild Wild West area. Mr. Edgeworth, sir! You've got to hurry, sir. Come on! That was a cool detail. The officer saluted him in the background. They ripped the... Oh, yeah, actually, yeah. He also does the bellboy's hand across his midsection pose. Ah, okay. That's a cool little Easter egg. Me not having full health makes you twitch. Oh, I want to check bad endings and stuff, though. What is it, detective? They found a blue badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir. What? Isn't that what one of the kidnappers was wearing? Bingo! That's why you've got to come to the main gate with me right now. If we hurry, we still might be able to get there before Wolf Boy does, sir. Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. To be continued. Oh, that's a pretty short segment. I could have played that one yesterday. Save! Me getting bad endings makes you twitch too. but gotta see what happens. Gotta see what they say. Gotta get the dialogue. All of it. I mean, it's not possible to get all of it, but I'll get as much of it as I can. Alright, is it cat feeding time? Nope. Onwards we go. 3:45 PM. Gatewaterland main gate. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe? Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Oh, that wasn't there before. Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Then let's get down to it. I won't rest until I hope he does. I kind of wish he would say that out loud accidentally every time. It'd be like his little mantra whenever he looks at things. This headpiece. This must be the Blue Badger Officer Meekins crossed paths with. Oh, the nerve of someone throwing a Blue Badger away like this. I worked so hard to create this character. It's like my baby. How could someone do this, sir? How? Detective, how about channeling your anger towards finding the culprits? Good idea. Oh, wait until I get my hands on. So who are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Why don't you try figuring it out yourself for a change? It's the Blue Badger's body section. What a waste. How so? Going through all the trouble to steal this costume, only to throw it away in the end. A real thief wouldn't do such a thing. Nope, no way. I wouldn't think a real thief would steal something so gaudy to begin with. What do we have here? Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon. Is it possible that these two... Hold it right there. Aye. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? Urgh. A pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren. Hey, it's a name that's engraved on this. Oh, is she his daughter? Miss Pout's pendant. Aha! We have you now, Miss Kidnapper. No, you don't understand. Lolly, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. Lance? You're kidding. Miss Pouts was one of the kidnappers? Yes. She was. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So, Miss Pouts is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved. Or over. Hey, guys. Case closed. Get the car ready. And I mean the special one for this young lady. Heh, again, Mr. Prosecutor. What is it this time? Are you proposing that Miss Palps is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. Ooh, actual logic. Amazing. So, Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Edgeworth clearly doesn't know Master Mask if he doesn't think thieves don't steal gaudy stuff. Yeah. Miss Palps, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. Alright, case solved. Alright, we're done. Let's play some Mario Kart. I can't believe it. Thanks for the confession. Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Look at you, so sure of yourself. We've got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Palps. Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? She's gonna cut her hair off. Don't do that. It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today. Miss Palp's confession. Fun fact, you think Meekins actually gets sacked at some point? Oh well. I mean, he left his gun just lying somewhere. So, I understand. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get his son back, after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. There. Are you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Palps, is what you said really the truth? Yes, it is. If that is the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there is something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. How well did you know the victim? I've spoken with him only a few times at Lance's house. A few times? That's it? Yes. If they only met a few times, I don't see how they could have trusted each other. But if you hardly ever talked, then how could he trust you not to steal his plan? That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning. Which is why he chose someone he wasn't especially close to. Isn't that right, Sheena? Yes, however, Mr. Deacon made a very poor choice. In the end, he was killed by the one he intended to betray himself. Ha! I bet he didn't see that one coming. Now, what did she call him? Mr. Deacon. I want to look at the profiles. Ow. Okay, so Mr. Deacon was his fake name. Alright, checks out. I was wondering if she knew who he really was. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. You knew? How did you know something like that? Oh no, what should I do? Okay, what's wrong with her now? Come on, isn't it obvious? You're making your scary face again, that's why. Why don't you try asking her in a nicer, more gentle way? No, stop it, Lauren. You're always like this. You always fall for the stern-looking one. That's why you'll always be unhappy. Oh, maybe that's it. She's been bewitched by your icy glare. Mind your own business, Kay. Now then, Miss Palps, let's continue with your testimony. Oh, yes, of course. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get his son back, after all. Why did you believe that? Anyone who knows Mr. Romano would think the same. I bet Lance is that old man's greatest treasure. I suppose he would be to a doting father like Mr. Romano. I always figured that was it too, and I was always envious of Lance for it. Oh, because your dad's... I got this pendant from my father, and I believe that as long as I have this, I'll find my father again someday. Oh boy. He'll welcome me into his arms, riding on the back of Pegasus. That pendant. She must truly believe it to be the wings of Pegasus. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money... Would you mind telling us a little about the plan itself? Well, first we captured Lance. Oh, how did you do that? Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know. Bah! And here I thought you knew how to steal people away. I shudder to think what she would do with such knowledge. Sorry, I really don't know, but somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but... Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. What's wrong, Kay? I can't believe she was betrayed. I kind of feel sorry for her. I feel a little sorry for her too. However, I also wish she would tell us the whole truth, because there is something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. But I'll give it another careful listen and see. I can't stop noticing that band-aid she's got on her elbow. Why do you think he did? I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning. Miss Palps... Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Palps from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Eh? Why not? I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. Huh? I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you. But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money. Miss Palps, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do, and I can show you with this piece of evidence. This proves that Mr. Deacon wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Palps. My badge! Miss Palps, you don't know, do you? But this piece of evidence will tell you exactly who you really are. Looking at it, I still don't feel anything within me at all. But now I really feel like I don't know anything. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, are you sure the one who doesn't know anything isn't you? Ugh, I guess this wasn't it. Alright, I should calm down and listen to her testimony once more. And take another good look at what is in my organizer. Ha, I see kidnappers also weep when they get stabbed in the back. Even as you betray the one you claim to love the most. That's... no, you don't understand. What's there to understand? Well. We didn't actually take a good look at this, did we? Okay, we've got the missing model gun. Was ripped from the Bad Badger costume. It's capable of firing blanks. Miss Pout's pendant. It's shaped like a pair of wings. Lauren D is engraved on the back. We can have a look-see. It's a pendant in the shape of a pair of wings. It has a rather nice aesthetic to it. Hey! Nice to see that even you can appreciate its beauty. Things made of platinum silver tend to have a nice feeling about them, you know? I was only talking about its shape, Kay. Oh, is that what you were talking about? But, you know, if we're talking about wing shapes, I think the brooch on my scarf is way cooler. But that's not made of platinum silver, is it? It's handmade, okay? So I'm sorry that it's not made of the most expensive stuff. She made that by herself? It's incredibly well crafted. Lauren D is engraved into this pendant. I see that they wrote out their first name, but why just the D? Maybe it's the result of poor planning. I guess. Well, at least if I had to shorten my name, I could make it K Faraday. Nice. That way, even if you just sounded it out, it'd still say my name, K Faraday. I suppose if I did the same, I would rather it be abbreviated as M Edgeworth. Hold on! I think it should abbreviate it as ME. Get it? Who would have thought that this little pendant could stir up such a strange conversation? Okay, am I going to present his pendant or hers? I'll try his. Ugh. Yeah, I'll show you his. Take that! Take that! Why are you showing this to me? So what about the pendant? This horse pendant, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. I'm guessing we're going to the same dialogue if we get it wrong again, so... These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree? Hey, you're right. They're the same colour, and they're even made of the same material. I believe that these two pendants are actually one. Eh? Shall we give it a try? Wow, it's totally Pegasus. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. What? No, that can't be. So the two make a set. Heh, it's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You lack imagination, Agent Lang. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. Oh boy. More evidence. Evidence, evidence, evidence. Save my game. And present evidence. And drink water. Ah, we're at end part 1. Oh, and my battery light is red. Did I just charge this thing? Apparently not. Maybe it chugs more power since it's got the capture card. Probably. His imagination lacks a save and continue button. Hey Delta, welcome to the stream. Evidence is everything in a park of amusement. Very good. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. My badge. This piece of evidence clearly does not demonstrate the meaning behind the pendant. And so what? Hold your horses. I believe there might exist a piece of evidence that can better explain the meaning. You believe there might? If you have it, why are you playing coy with it? Very well then, prepare yourself. He tries so hard to save face, doesn't he? It's really funny. Alright. I guess it's a dossier. Yeah. Let's go. Take that. Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Devore, the name that is etched on the horse pendant. What? An alias? I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense, given what is written in Mr. Devore's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. Oh my god. It's the wife and daughter. Maybe it's his face though. I'm sure I'm not the only one who recognized his face. Isn't that the murder victim? Precisely. And don't tell me that's it. I still have yet to figure it all out. The truth is buried in here somewhere. I just need to read it in a little more detail. Poor Edgeworth. Part where it mentions a daughter. Mr. Devore had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Palps. That's a lie! That person was not my father! He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Yikes. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Oh, so it always goes tragic, doesn't it? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot? And what is so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I have thought of another possibility. Is that so? Well, let's hear it. Bum bum bum. Another possibility. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. And the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? But then why would she kill him? So this is his version of how things might have been. You don't have any proof that either one didn't know of their true relationship, right? You mean they knowingly committed kidnapping as father and daughter? That's right. As one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? I'd better take a long, hard look at the evidence. Listen to the wolf call the edgy rash. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. Precisely. And what father would ever willingly kill his own daughter? I've seen a lot of things in my travels, and I can tell you that being related by blood is sometimes proof of nothing. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? You think they knew? Yeah, I don't think only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, but they had to pretend that they didn't. Because he was on the lam. You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore. And that was a play on Listen to the Pot Called the Kettle Black. Ah, very good. It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. One as a butler and one as the friend of the son, you mean? They probably thought that was their best shot. Is that what you honestly believe? Of course. And the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. You mean how they plotted to commit this crime as blood relatives? Can you think of a better partner? They're certainly a clever pair. The butler and the girlfriend. No one would ever suspect that they were, in fact, family. Yes, from the very beginning, they painstakingly practiced those roles well. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? Agent Lang isn't wrong. His scenario is certainly a probable one. You'd better hurry up and do something, or Lauren's gonna wind up looking really bad. I know, but first things first. Is Agent Lang's line of logic factually correct? Did the two of them really knowingly commit the murder as father and daughter? I believe you're being a bit too overconfident for someone with no evidence. Am I? Because I don't see you presenting any evidence to the contrary. Without evidence to counter him, we're stuck at a draw. Anyway. Let's save. And let's think. Actually, let's get a game over, because we're gonna have a new game over since we have a new suspect. Let's have a game over. Check out my badge. Agent Lang, if you could take a look at this piece of evidence, you'd see that there was a very big flaw in your logic. I think we've seen that dialogue. Yeah. Check out my badge again. You're not looking at my badge hard enough, okay? If you just look at it more carefully, you'll see the point I'm trying to make. Now he's reading the scroll. Now that we've seen that, we can skip through it. That's quite a long one, actually, isn't it? And... rip. Another. There's at least 3 different wrong answer dialogues. Interesting. I think your half-baked logic needs some more time in the oven, Mr. Prosecutor. You guys, what are you waiting for? An engraved invitation? Take this young lady away. Wait, we still don't know the truth behind what has happened. It's alright. I need to pay the price for what I've done. Yeah, that's pretty short. Most of the game overs are pretty short, aren't they? Hello, sweetie. And the cat's back, looking for food. It actually is almost her dinner time. Almost. Anyway. So proof that they didn't know they were related. Or that at least one of them didn't know. Let's go there. Let's see. The murder notes. Maybe there's something in here. I mean, they were both wearing costumes, but like that, I don't think that would factor in. It's like they hadn't met each other before. Love letter? This factors in somewhere. Still don't know how this factors in though. He hasn't shown up where his wife and daughter are. He hasn't shown up at their home, I guess is what that means. Yeah, so how did they plan it? Maybe that's the proof we need. I'll try presenting this here. Nope, that's not right. That's not right. This is a tough one. Hurry up, Lang. Hurry up, Lang. He's just laughing away. Possible they both knew that fact. No coincidence they became involved in the House of Amano. What meetings is he talking about? Hold it. Maybe that's where I need to present it. So I'm still thinking along the same lines. I just feel like I didn't present it at the right point. No, still wrong? Might need to ask for a hint on this one. Yeah, I'll ask for a hint if anyone knows the answer. Looks like I'm on the wrong track. Guess I'll press the things again and see if there's anything I missed. Not much dialogue there. Hey, Oka has. Welcome. We're pretty late in this case now. I'm not sure how to sum it up really. We're pretty far into it. Think about how many costumes were taken and what that implies. Yes, I was thinking along the lines that he was in on it. This is just a third kidnapper. Which costume did we just find? The blue one, huh? So she was in the blue costume. We haven't found the other costumes though. We don't even know which costume the that deacon was wearing. she's wearing the... yeah. So I think we found the blue badger costume. And we're thinking that the killer was wearing the bad badger costume. Because they replaced the model gun with a real one. I wonder if that's the train of logic I need to be on at this point. Where do I even present that, though? Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm not meant to present that yet, because it doesn't really fit in with any of this stuff. So I'll try and point out that there are 3 missing costumes. Progress. This kidnapping wasn't planned by just 2 people alone. And what kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. 3? I can't do martial art poses. I tried to. 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group, and I believe this 3rd person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. But who? Who is this mastermind? Oh boy. I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. Well, yeah, I think it was Lance. Can't save though. Maybe it was Gumshoe? The real puppet master of this kidnapping is this person. I can think of no one else. I can think of no one else with such faulty logic as you, Mr. Prosecutor. Wasn't this person? Thinking back, there really is only one person the 3rd kidnapper could be. Take that! Lance Amano! It was Meekins. Yes, this abduction was, in fact, schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but 2. One was a woman. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them. Ah yes, about when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Let's save my game, because I have literally no health left. Hello, cat. What, you want food? But we're in the middle of a cool thing. Mind waiting for a bit, cat? Jubilee. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much more, honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? Okay. Lance's testimony. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnappers suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. His poses are kind of funny. Through the underground passageway, I presume. Are you okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. Oh, how can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor, and because they're all like that. I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, Then so be it. Heh. There is a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little. At least I'm not getting knocked off edges in this game. Yes! Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's kind of cool. His hands are still cuffed. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. Can you tell us about when you were abducted in a little more detail? It was a strange morning. I felt like I was right in the middle of a great calm. And where were you when you experienced this calm? Our family garden, of course. Where else could it have been? Well, excuse me for asking. This child is more princess than prince. What's that meant to mean? I was out taking a walk to shake off the morning blah. Then out of the blue, someone from behind clamps a hand over my mouth. You didn't see your attacker? They must have used some drugs to knock me out. Because before I knew it, I was off in La La Land again. When I woke up, I was in the kidnapper's hideout already, all tied up. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape. Then you were in the same room as your kidnappers? They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely two people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. But the kidnappers suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. The kidnappers disappeared? The room fell into a sudden silence. I had been left behind like an unwanted mutt. And what do you mean by unwanted mutt? What a pointless question. It's not like he's going to tell you anything new, you know. It's a poetic simile. You should learn how to use them too. You may look refined on the outside. But it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well. That bit of breeze, that was pretty funny. Oh, you fell asleep? Sorry to hear that panicking. Sonic's rival, not so fast, man. That's a good name for him. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that left me alone. Then those cuffs on your wrists. I suppose you are still cuffed in that case. I am well aware of how I'm chained to reality. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner. Bit dramatic, aren't we? I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. Boy, does that bring back memories of our situation and how we made our escape. Indeed, and although the door on the floor of our room led to an underground room, the door on the floor of the room next door had a secret passageway. A secret passageway under a theme park! Oh, that just sounds like so much fun! I wonder, is there something off about the way Lance made his escape? How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked, which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. It wasn't locked. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. The door leading outside was locked tight, so I had to use the underground passageway. I like how he's peeking through his fingers. It's pretty good. By underground passageway, you mean the one the staff uses to travel unnoticed? I suppose that's what it's for, but I didn't run into any staff members on my way out. And once I was up top, I was busy trying to find a member of the police. And that is when you found us congregated at the stadium, I suppose. Let me ask you then, how did you get a hold of the key to the underground door? That was easy. It was hanging right there in the room on the wall. I do recall a key hanging on the wall right beside the table. Ooh. So we're gonna prove that the door was not locked. How do we do that? Yeah, the broken prop sword, so he should have been able to undo that. I'll save just in case it's wrong. Okay, cat lift again. Guess you're not hungry. Actually, what's this guy say if we get something wrong here? Let's find out. Check out my badge. That statement just now contradicts this piece of evidence. How dare you call me a liar? And in such a loud voice, with evidence that doesn't make any sense. You have no idea how to put two ideas together to make a logical argument, do you? Oh, I didn't think my reasoning was as bad as that. Have we gotten the game over here? I think we did, didn't we? I think your half-baked logic needs some more time in the oven, Mr. Prosecutor. Yeah, we saw that one. Reset. Cleo, feed me. And not so fast. Yeah, exactly. Cat's done with me ignoring her plight of starvation. Yeah, she's probably bugging Steve. You say that the door leading out was locked, but was it really? We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open. Right, Sheena? Yes, that's correct. Then take a look at this. What is that? A sword? It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. This music's real good. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape? Why didn't I? I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it. As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But you did not, in fact, possess the key to the door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own. Not so fast. You have been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. And what would that be? A motive. What else? Money. I mean, that's true. Do you honestly think that an upright, pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme, such as kidnapping himself? This proves that Lance did indeed have motive to commit this crime. Oh dear. Well, I mean, it's the badge. Always. That is this boy's motive. You lawyer types sure have active imaginations. That type of flimsy logic may work in court, but it'll never stand up to my strict scrutiny. This wolf's bite is far worse than his bark. You like the finger wag? Very good. Check out this prop sword. I should probably drink some water. I wonder what the prop sword is from. None of the badges have a sword, do they? Bum, bum, bum. This music's good. It's gonna go on my favourite video game music playlist. Bum, bum, bum. Do, do. A motive. I was gonna save, but yeah, this part kind of sneaks up on me. Alright, a motive to commit the crime. Yeah. Did he owe money to the loan company? Why would he have borrowed money from the loan company? Did his father not let him have money? Does Gatewater Land have a pirate area? I don't think it does. Well, maybe. It's got a Wild West area, it's got the stadium. What's the other one? Haunted House. Yeah, no pirate area. Alright, so I think we're going for that he got himself in trouble with the loan company. To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need. For money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is, in fact, a collections bill. It appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance? Oh! Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your own old man, huh? You're... alright, I give up. I abducted myself. Lance! It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that $1 million, but now, that dream is over. Oh, Lance. I love this scene. Then you were giving yourself up? Yes, I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back. He turned on you. Maybe he didn't want to split the ransom money. That's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. That doesn't look like him attacking you. Oh, he's holding the gun. Yeah. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Okay. Lolly left first in the Blue Badger costume. That would mean the person Officer Meekins saw was Miss Pouts. But right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a bad Badger costume, took the suitcase with the $1 million and ran. Oh, that's right, yeah, that's the sword they were holding when they hit Edgeworth. Okay. Forgot about that. Quick, confess something and make it look like the other guy did most of it, yeah. Lance's art style is very AA4. He's giving you a very similar vibe to some late game characters. Okay. I don't remember most of the characters from that game, so that'll be fun to revisit. The only thing you have left to do in Horizon this playthrough is the expansion stuff. Is the expansion for that game good? I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun. They had no idea that they were related, so I thought that it could only end badly. How did you know they were related? I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if it was, I just killed my own father. Lolly, then it really was you? Chain of events. That man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot. The other person crumpled to the ground and I ran, scared for my life. I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you? Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you. So, Miss Pouts, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was? If what she says is true. Are you saying she's lying? But why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You would be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. Edgeworth has figured it out. You should let me in on the secret. That man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium... Please calm down and let's slowly talk through this. But all you have to do is simply tell us what happened at the stadium. Leave it to us to search out the truth. Can you do that for me? Alright. So, at the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. That was the ransom money, wasn't it? Yes. That's how I was able to identify Mr. Deacon almost immediately. It was all thanks to what Lance told me. And what did he tell you? Well, he called me on my cell phone and told me that Mr. Deacon had betrayed us and had run off with the ransom money. And about how he had a gun. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. Were you able to clearly see the gun? Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why would you try to shoot me? Do you really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself. But it's true. My father's left arm was raised with a gun in it. Pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought. Miss Pouts. Please calm down and take a deep breath. And then, would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time? Yes, of course. But that badger pointed the gun in his left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead. Oh, well, there it is. Start calling Pouts Lady the father killer. The expansion adds a whole new area, some more explanations to the story and new creatures. Ooh, that sounds good, Tag. Very cool. Let's save, actually. I haven't saved in a while. Making good progress today, I think. Alright, where's our new statement? But that badger pointed the gun in his left hand at me, aiming to shoot me dead. And you felt that your life was in danger, correct? Yes. I'm about to die, I thought. So... That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. You shot Mr. Deacon. Seriously, just... Your hair's fine, don't cut it. Don't cut your hair. Miss Pouts. Yes, I shot him. And that as they say, is that... Agent Lang, Miss Palps is far from done. She hasn't even finished her testimony yet. You're going to continue questioning her? What a waste of time. Miss Palps, if you please. Alright. There was a gunshot. The other person crumpled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life. Did you take off immediately following the gunshot? Yes. And you didn't attempt to approach the victim at all after he was shot? I was scared. Then who moved the body? I don't blame you. I would have done the exact same thing. Poor Miss Palps. What will become of her, Mr. Edgeworth? She seems to be telling the truth regarding what happened at the stadium. However, I don't believe it to be absolutely correct. Listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. Was she given the gun that fires blanks, and was this all a setup for her? Whoops, wrong button. Wrong button! When you started out in the stream, that was the expansion area. Ah, okay. Nice. Alright, left hand. Now save. In case I present the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm gonna be a compulsive saver here. Hey sweetie, how you doing? Cat's back. I'll feed her once we finish this segment. I'll probably finish up the stream once we finish this segment, actually. Because I'm getting hungry. And my hip's hurting a bit, actually. Okay. Actually, what happens if we present the wrong thing? What's she gonna say? Take a good look at this. What about it? Mr. Edgeworth, sir, I don't think you pulled out the right piece of evidence. Oh, by the way, Gumshoe's here. Wonderful subordinate there. So willing to point out his boss's mistakes. Gurk. Detective Gumshoe, you will refrain from excessive talking. That was a good one. Meow to you too. The badger would have been holding it in the right hand. That's not right. Oh no! Glad I saved. Okay. Okay. Which one did I present? The Bible? Yeah, it's definitely the wrong hand for the bad badger. Alright, how about... we had another piece of evidence. Missing model gun. I don't think that should come into it yet. Sorting out dinner. Okay, I thought that would be the answer, because the missing... Are we saying that he couldn't have had a gun because it was... But there's two bad badger costumes, right? That couldn't have... That can't have been the costume he was murdered in, because there's no blood on it. Yeah, there's no... Even after looking at this, can you still claim what you just said to be true? Actually, I can. She showed you. She showed us. I'm pretty sure this is the statement we need to work on. Well, maybe it's that she ran scared for her life and the body was found elsewhere? No? Okay. 'Cause that's also a contradiction. That's also a contradiction. Game. Game! Video game! Game. Okay. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. A bad version. Do, do, do. I do feel like this was a new statement that showed up. So this should be the one we have to. Stolen costumes. Okay, they've updated this. Blue Badger Lauren Paups, Proto Badger Lance Amano, and Bad Badger Oliver Deacon. Oh, hang on, where'd you shoot him? Where'd you shoot him? Ah, there was a gunshot. Thanks, that's vague. That's very helpful, lady. I'm not sure what else I should be pointing out. Missing model gun. Sorry, I just accidentally presented the wrong thing. Maybe I presented the photo rally accidentally. No. Oh, maybe I need to repress something? Oh, okay, I'll try that. I shall try that. Okay, where's the earlier stuff? Repress this stuff. Calm down. Tell us what happened. Leave it to us. Okay. The ransom money. Okay, hang on. Did the... He didn't tell her that he was in a costume, but I mean, she saw someone in a costume carrying the suitcase, so I don't think that would be a contradiction. I could try it. Yeah, I didn't think that would be it. It's not polite to confuse poor, helpless girls, Mr. Prosecutor. Until you have something significant to add, stuff that jabbit of yours in your mouth. It's a cravat, and it's a fashion statement, not a gag. That's a good line. Check every piece of evidence again, even if you think it's unrelated. Okay. Okay, I shall. What did she say about this one? No, didn't say much about it. Okay, let's have a look through our evidence. Wonder why she was in the stadium? Bad badger. Vile criminal with a gun. We still haven't found where the other Bad Badger costume went. Body was moved. Ah, dominant hand, right. Ah, there we go. There's the moment. That moment where it clicks. That moment feels good. Dominant hand, right. Yay! Nice. Thanks, that was a good hint, Dashiki. That was good. I have here a dossier on your father. And according to this, your father was right-handed. Ah, then the person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deacon. Hold on there, Mr. Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun with was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that? Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Palps was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't expect someone who has never set foot in court to catch it. Enough of the smugness! Out with it already! Miss Palps told us earlier. There was a Bad Badger pulling the suitcase with the $1 million in it. According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Palps? Yes, exactly. And I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face. First try. Definitely, first try. Your biggest appeal for the Horizon expansion is that it's a snowy area. Ah, you tend to love the aesthetics of snowy areas. Ah, cool. It does sound really awesome. But if that's the case, even I can see there is a huge contradiction. Yes, Miss Palps claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. Thank you, video game, for letting me save there. Thank you very much. Thank you, game. You're a good game. He's a good video game. Yes, it's you. Yes, it's you. Oh, where's the cat? Guess she's not hungry. Oh, hi. Did you understand what I said? She appeared. I think she understands English. Okay. Wasn't the Bad Badger, both hands were not occupied, both are correct. And what piece of information were we talking about? Oh, well, I think it wasn't the bad badger is wrong. So let's go with that one for the wrong answer dialogue. Miss Palps, what you saw was not the bad badger. Think back and recall which character was it that levelled a gun at you. But it was wearing a pair of sunglasses and it had that strange blue beard. That sums up the bad badger pretty well, I'd say. Too bad for you, but it looks like the bad badger wasn't the mistake here. Oh. Poor Reggie boy. Yeah, maybe she understands the word food. Both hands were not occupied. I think both is correct, must be the right one. Holding a gun in his right hand as he pulls the suitcase with the same hand. Isn't it possible for a right-handed person to do both things simultaneously? Your deduction is full of one too many conjectures, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Oh, I suppose it is pretty difficult, if not impossible. Oh, there we go. Hello, cat. Both are correct. They are both correct. Impossible! That just leaves us with an irresolvable contradiction. Miss Palp's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. Was he wearing a different bottom of the costume? Because there's the head and there's the rest of the body. But what if that bad badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? No pants on the badger. They understand simple words, but mostly intent from your voice. Yeah, they really understand tone of voice, don't they? There we go. This proves that there was a way for the bad badger to freely use both of his hands. So what are we going for? That they ripped the gun out of the badger costume's hands, or they used a different body? But maybe it's my badge. Get your head on straight, Mr. Prosecutor. That doesn't show me diddly squat. I knew it! What I saw was just a mirage! But wait, I can explain. Diddly squat. In all fairness, you could just hook the gun on the suitcase handle, or pull with your wrist. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was talking about not wearing pants. So I think he's going for it was a different rest of the costumes separate into head and body. Separate in the head and body. Yes, I think this is what we're going for. The costumes have two parts to them: a head and the body. Oh, I get it now. The head Miss Palp saw was probably really the head of the bad badger. However, is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger? A different badger? Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. Do I have to point out which badger? Okay. Times like this, I miss save states, because they're nice and quick. The body of the bad badger Miss Palp saw really belonged to this badger. I think the proto-badger, because all he did was swap his head. But maybe it's the bad badger! It was the bad badger's body? The bad badger? You're a real laugh riot. You claim that the body was from a different badger and then do a complete 180. If the body of the bad badger was that of the bad badger, then we've resolved nothing. Curses! Okay, we've got special dialogue for that, so that's pretty good. Alright, what if we point out the pink one? They could make a game show called Which Badger? And thus the badge was lost forever. You mean the badger? I think even I would have noticed that. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth, the pink badger is, well, pink, after all. Now, they have different dialogue for all of them. That's kind of cool. Yes, I'm going to be OCD completionist and check them all. Sorry, but that's who I am. Check the blue badger, which doesn't make sense because she was wearing the blue badger. His head may have been the bad badger, but his body was the blue badger's. The blue badger? Hold on, let's see here. Who was it that had one of these on? I did. And so did Officer Meekins, pal. Hahaha, nice try, but your logic is just a tad illogical. Officer Meekins has been placed under arrest after all. Wait! Kind of funny how much dialogue you miss when you get the answers right straight away. Yeah, actually. There's a lot of wrong answer dialogue, especially in this game. This game has way more than the main games that I've seen so far. Here we go. Proto Badger. Oh. I was wondering if that was going to happen. I don't see a badger where you're pointing, do you? Sorry, my finger must have slipped due to excessive force. He just went, "There's one!" Wow, there's 5 different responses to this question. It's pretty good. What? The heck is it? It's the proto-badger. Yes, and it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Palps was wearing the blue badger's costume, so we can eliminate that one. And the pink badger is of the wrong colour, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that is left is the proto-badger costume. Miss Palps, who was the one who wore the proto-badger costume? That would be Lance. Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amano donned the bad badger's head and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which he plotted to shoot Miss Palps while wearing that hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than that. A setup. And its purpose was to lead Miss Palps into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Palps and pretending to be the victim. He saved his video game. Simple process of elimination after trying every other option and getting it wrong. Yes. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger. I have no idea what you're talking about. Why exactly would I have had to do all that, huh? There is but one reason. Lance Amano, you are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What? No! That's slander! Take it back! You take it back right now! Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand? I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do with anything? It depends. According to Miss Palps, her attacker held a gun in his left hand. Ha! Who is what-handed doesn't prove a thing. And besides, now you're just being absurd. It's not like the proto-badger is bulletproof. There we go, and this is where we have to prove that the gun fired blanks. Saving. One misfire, and he would have found himself dead, right? Of course, logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well, and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet. He wore my badge. He prepared this, thinking he could set it up and use it to protect himself. That's completely illogical. Besides, you'd think it would have been mentioned in one of the testimonies by now. He just hmms about that. Yes, indeed, edgy boy. Lance used strong electromagnetism to reflect bullets away from him. Lance was fortune. Wonder when the end of this segment is, because I will need to end the stream pretty soon. As soon as Steve gets back with food. We found one half of a bad badger costume in the hideout. A broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing. Plus, it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the bad badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Miss Pouts, where is the gun you use now? I threw it away into the sea. That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was. Although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right, and the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? I don't know yet. Ha! I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame. Please, wait a second. It's simply not possible. Because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance. She saw the victim in the state of being restrained? Alright, I think we will call it here and come back to this one next time. At least 2 more testimonies in this one. Okay. Alright, so I think we'll save here. This is called End Part 1, so there's still a lot more of the case after this. There's still at least 1 more segment. So I think what we'll do is next time we'll come back and we'll finish off this segment and play the next one. And maybe that'll end the case. Depends on if there's a Part 3 of the ending. Let's see. End Part 1, yeah. So we'll come back to this next time. And maybe finish the case. Seriously though, are bullets magnetic? I don't know, actually. I don't know. Alright, who is streaming tonight? Let's see. I Ate Your Pie is playing Mario Maker 2 versus, so I'm gonna host him. Thank you all for watching. Oh, I'll raid him actually. I ate your pie, and I shall see you all later. See yous.